Yeah, as you can see, all the spacing gets a little too even here, because of which I think it's also because with 16 frames you could manage, because you could evenly break the time. But when it comes to 20 frames, then you are left with 10 and 10, then 5 and 5,
Yeah.
It's because of that, I think you struggled with it a bit. So we can just quickly take a look at it. So let's say if you have to do in 20 frames, this one. All right. So you just put one drawing here, and then after 10 drawings, you put one drawing here, and then again after 10 drawings, you put one drawing here. Right?
Yeah.
Now, as you break it down, you switch on. You've put it here, which is great. I still don't think you need to squash it as much.
Stretch. Okay.
Yes, you don't need to stretch it as much. You can just keep it here. Now, like I was saying, when it is an odd number, like 5 frames, you have to add 5 frames in here. But now we really know that we need to favor the top drawing more. So I think what we'll do is we'll keep more drawings for it up at the top and fewer drawings as it comes down. Does that make sense?
Okay. So first we draw the third frame.
Yeah, I mean, to break the 5 frames, either you can break it in 3 and 2, or you can break it in 2 and 3, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now I know that I need to spend more time closer to the top. So more time,
Okay. Yeah.
more frames, right?
Yeah.
Right. So here, what I'll do is I'll just make sure that I put 3 drawings for it. So here, this was my key drawing. This was my key drawing. This was my breakdown. So now I'll just make sure that this I put here. Yeah, you've done it quite nice. I think I'll favor it a bit more. And so, and then here is the problem. Here, then again, you need to favor the top drawing more. Right? Okay. And then again, you need to favor the top drawing. You see what happened? And I just need to add one drawing here as well. Maybe we need to favor it a bit. Yeah. So we have this acceleration happening as it falls. Okay. That makes sense. Now again, as we know, we have to accelerate as we go down. So now what I'll do is I'll keep more drawings up at the top and fewer drawings up down bottom. Right? Yeah. So as we keep breaking things down, I'll just make sure that I'm favoring the top drawing. So instead of putting it here, maybe I'll put it here. That makes sense? Yeah. Yeah, so instead of having like an even spacing happening here, I'll just make sure that I keep favoring the top one, and I'll also keep my light box on so I know where I'm coming from. So stuff like that. Yeah, and then you keep breaking it down, and then I think it will all make sense. Is that all right, or should I keep going?
I mean, I get it now. It should have favored more to the top drawing.
Exactly. And just make sure that even when you're doing like pose to pose, just have that straight ahead mentality going as well. So you keep flipping between your drawings and see how the spacing is increasing. And you keep making sure if you have enough frames for it to accelerate or not. And all of that. Yeah. So it's just that. It's just a matter of doing it over and over, and I think you'll get a hang of it. Yeah. But yeah, the idea being that whenever you have to accelerate, you just keep on working your way backwards so that when you play it like this, you have the spacing increasing gradually. And when you have to decelerate, you can work your way like just in the same way. And then you can have it ease in. All right. So I think for most people, it's just the spacing issue where you start to get a lot of even spacing happening up at the top. Right?
Yeah.
And as you keep on adding frames, I think you'll add frames to the fall itself, which will make it look a little too slow. So instead of adding frames to the fall, you can actually add frames to the ease outs and ease ins up at the top. Correct?
Okay.
And again, this was just an exploration. Of course, depending on the weight of the ball and given how small or big the ball is, it makes sense for us to have more or less frames. Here you tried to add more frames to the same volume of the ball. So that's why in some examples it works. Like in 16 frames, it works very well, but I think it's again just the spacing needs to be fixed a little more. And the 14 and the 20 frames one, it just goes off. But I think it's a great exercise that you've done here. Just be a little more cautious about how you space things. Yeah. And as you rightly mentioned, it's just that when you keep breaking it down, you also have to think about the number of drawings that you're going to put in, so that you make sure that you have enough space left for it to gradually decrease or in. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, so what I was trying to mention was the arc here.
Yeah.
You see this? Yeah, this arc right here. It shouldn't be this. It should be more like, you see right now you have this happening, while it should be more like, it should be more like this. Okay? Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah, so as it hits,
Yeah.
it won't like go directly down. It would still shoot up a little. Like it would be here somewhere. And then it will keep on accelerating. Yeah, I think it will be a little closer here, then here, then here, and then it will fall. And then whatever is happening. Again, try to make sure that, oh no, yeah, you needed contact here, right? Again, just try to make sure that the spacing is not too even, right? So if this is where you had drawn it, so then, yeah, I think try favoring the drawings a little more.
Okay.
So that just tiny bit. I mean, this also works. It's just that I'm just being a little nitpicky right now.
Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah.
So if you can maintain this, as you can see, like this big spacing, then small spacing, and small, like as much as you can control this easing in and easing out, it will give a lot more natural movement to the whole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here also.
Yeah, understood.
Here, so on and then again, I think here the ball doesn't really need to do this, where it just goes ahead and then settles back.
Okay.
And
I like default just do that for everything because I don't know. Someone told me to do.
Yeah. No, it makes sense because the momentum of the ball would want it to keep going, but at some point friction would win and then it would just throw the ball back. So it happens, but I think just like in the bouncing ball that you had done, it's coming to halt rather too quickly. So because if this was the spacing that you were going for, then suddenly you switching to something very close You see?
Yeah.
If this is the spacing that was going on, then suddenly you can't really come to this small space. You have to gradually reduce it. So this in itself can give you a good idea that actually you would need more frames for it to come to a halt. And it wouldn't really stop here. It would stop here somewhere. Right?
Yeah.
Be here somewhere. But yeah, that's something that you'll need to look at when you do take a look at the spacing. And then of course, as you have to come to a halt, you just keep on favoring. Then, you'll just start getting gradual ease in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so Palak, as I was saying, as you can see, the spacing between all these drawings is a bit too even, as you all can see, right? See here. It's not really easing in or out of it. And it's because of that, it feels very mechanical and doesn't really feel like it's swinging. And even towards the end, I think it gets a little too even. So you could really push it even more. But I think this could work if you start spacing these out even further. So if you go from here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here directly, then here, then you just start easing in and packing all the frames here so that it just goes. And then it goes back again. Because here again, suddenly you have this frame, then this frame, then this frame. Suddenly there's a big jump. And then again, so it's accelerating and suddenly it stops accelerating in the middle of the movement, which is not possible. And it attains like a very weird constant speed. And then it decelerates again. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing that you did with the bounce. You just have to make sure that you translate it into a pendulum as well. So that the spacing increases gradually as it goes and decreases as it reaches the extreme.
So basically that center frame isn't needed actually, right?
It really depends on the timing.
Okay.
Because I don't really know how many frames you have to draw.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, instead of putting the breakdown right in the center, if you already make sure that your breakdown is either favoring the previous drawing, so instead of putting the breakdown here, if you had put the breakdown here somewhere,
okay,
for example, right? So already you have this nice uneven breaking of the timing happening, right? Just the way we did in the bouncing ball, like we took the breakdown, but instead of putting it in the center, we started favoring the top.
Yeah.
So if you have to accelerate like this, so you make sure that the spacing increases. And then you just keep breaking it down further and further. Similarly here as well. You keep breaking it down further and further. So you get this.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.